Hi, my name is Nicolas Churis, and this is my engineering portfolio. And this below is my table of contents. To begin, for my first learning objective, I used one of my civil engineering MSc problems. It was asking what is the maximum load on the element below if the allowable shear stress of wood material is 20 pounds, and they gave us the formula shear stress equals force divided by shear area. They also gave us the length and the width, so I multiplied that to get the area, and they already give us the shear stress, which is 20 pounds in the equation. Then I plug the variables into the equation to get 20 equals F divided by 1.8, and then I solve for F by multiplying the shear stress and the shear area, and then I got 36 pounds as my final answer. Example 2 for my first learning objective, I used my mechanical engineering MSc. The problem was asking what is the competitive stress in the post in pounds per square inch. They gave us 26 kips, and a kip is 1,000 pounds, so I got the pounds by multiplying those two together to get 26,000 pounds. And then the area of a circular post is pi times diameter squared divided by 4, and they give us a diameter, so I plug that in to get the area of 19.635 inches squared. And then the formula for competitive stress is pounds divided by area, and I plug those in to get a final answer of 1,300 pounds per square inch. My first example for learning objective 2, I used the marshmallow tower activity we did in lecture. They gave us spaghetti sticks, tape, and a floss set. For the base structure, we did a square base because we thought it would offer the best stability. And then for the second level, we did another square base to increase the height of the tower because that was the goal of the activity. And then for the final level, we added a triangle because triangles for roof structures add the most stability and are the best and most common shape. In the end, we probably should have focused more on trying to increase the height of the tower and offered more stability, because our tower towards the end was leaning and it didn't hold up in the final stages. For example 2 for my second learning objective, I used a bridge project assembly. We started off by making a draft on paper of our desired design for the bridge. We used triangular structures with a zigzag pattern because we thought this would distribute the loads efficiently and provide the best stability to the bridge. Then we applied the same design into SolidWorks. Then we made our first physical prototype built from cardboard using this exact same design, and we also added the solar panels and LED lights. Then for our final prototype, we used the same design, but we added 2 extra triangular structures on the reverse sides for each side because we needed extra stability, and we needed the bridge to be able to hold up the solar panels. For example 1 for my third learning objective, I used the bridge project prototype. How we worked together. Me and Alessandro, as civil engineers, we worked more on the design of the bridge and applying it to SolidWorks, and then also iterations for each prototype. Jonas and Patrick worked on the LED microcontrollers component of the project, and they also created the current, power, and resistance graphs in Excel, as they were more experienced with that. Example 2 for my third learning objective, I used the creative thinking lecture activity. Our group was me as a civil engineer, Kobe was a mechanical engineer, and Christian was a biomedical engineer. Me as a civil engineer focused more on supporting the weight of the peanut butter and also with the bread. Kobe as a mechanical engineer focused more on the forces when spreading the peanut butter and jelly on the bread. And then Christian as a biomedical engineer focused more on the structure of the sandwich. In example 1 for learning objective 4, I used our engineering log that we completed as a group. Part of it was we had to create a Gantt chart. In this chart, we had to provide who was responsible for each task and which time frame during the semester we were going to accomplish each task. Then I also used the graphs that we made in this log. We made 2 graphs involving how resistance affects current and power based on ambient light versus flashlight, and compared the results. For example 2 for my fourth learning objective, I used the bridge project poster that we had to present in class. In this poster, it included the design process, the teamwork, the different prototypes and iterations, our measurements, the installment of our LEDs, our stretch goals, what we learned from our MSCs, and the overall cost of the project. Based on who was responsible for what in the project, we assigned them their designated portion on the poster. Example 1 for my fifth learning objective, I used a Mars game where I had to apply ethical reasoning throughout the game. For example, I was given a scenario where I was commander of the colony and had to make an ethical decision whether to inform the colonists of something that had happened or keep it private. I ultimately decided to inform them because I thought it was the best for the colony and their safety. Example 2 for my fifth learning objective, I used a trolley example given in lecture. The goal of this activity was to test ethical decision making. You would decide whether to pull the lever and divert the lane of the train to change the outcome, or do nothing and keep the train in the same lane and keep the original consequence.